Hey, what's going on, yo? This is Coach Smith for the video, man. Y'all got to excuse me because I'm a little bit under the weather. I did a video previous about how a parent tried to harm me, and I was starting to really stopped up, so excuse me for that. Um, but I want to talk to the youth, even a grown person, about overcoming battles. Um, Myself, it was hard for me growing up because of acceptance. I tried to be accepted by a lot of people. You know, my grandmother had put me in private school from second to eighth grade, and then by the time I became a ninth grader, she wanted to put me in this private school, another private school. Okay, now mind you, she was a teacher at a public school, and very well known teacher too. All right, and my dream was to always take up that legacy. That makes sense. I always wanted to go there, play ball. You know, I wanted to be a knight. That was my dream. But you know how we become we as you get older, it's more about image. And my grandma's old school. So, she wanted us to make the family look good. She wanted to show I take care of my kids. She wanted to show, my kids are prestigious. I get to that school, that was the hardest school ever. Man, let me tell y'all something. I don't know how I even got to the 10th grade. I had an F. School started that Monday. I had an F by that Friday. I'm just being honest with you. So fast forwarding, a lot of kids there will make fun of me, pick on me. It was mostly white kids. Entitled. A lot more entitled. A lot of them had lives that I wanted to live. But now I think about it, thank God I did not grow up like that, because them kids were terrible to me. So you try to be accepted. So, and mind you, my grandmother was an African American history teacher, and she also was from Mississippi. And let's be honest, we know a lot of our grandparents. They didn't like the interracial couple stuff. They was cool white folks, but y'all know where I'm coming from, bro. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you, dog. Black folks are just as racist as white folks. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. Everybody could be racist at some point in their life. But I feel like that's an ignorant part of history that I was not a part of, and I don't want to be brought back into it. So I ended up making a really good friend there. We would go to homecoming, I would hang with him, and so I would start talking more like him, dressing more like him, and she hated it. She could not stand it. And then when I got around her friends, they would, make little side things like I'm not black. You know what I mean? Like it got kind of, it was weird because she would come at me like, "You too good for black people. You just want to be white, don't you?" First of all, lady, you put me in this school. Make it make sense to me. Either you don't want me to be a thug or be around the black folks, or you want me to be around the white folks and don't want me, like, make up your mind, bro. Because you're going to turn into the product of your environment. That's just how life is. So, my freshman year goes by. I get to sophomore year. Okay? Get to sophomore year. I beefed up a little bit. Football's starting. I know I'm going to have a starting position. Things are good. But my grandma, she ain't feeling this. She ain't feeling this whole private prep school thing. She over it now, bro. Cause I'm getting bigger. I'm getting bigger, getting taller. And I'm starting to get a mouth on me. Like, a lot of things I wouldn't say growing up, I started saying. So she had. I remember I was on my way to practice for summer. It was 2 days, cause this school did 2 days still. So. Well, I think they stopped that, but we had 2 days this day. So that morning, she brings me to, practice, and she said, "I'm gonna see something, and I'll let you." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So she picks me up. She said, "Did you want to go to Auburn still?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to go out." She said, "Well, congratulations, you're officially an Auburn Knight." So wait, I'm just gonna leave just like I'm like, "All right, cool." Man, I was ready. I was so excited. I had in my mind how I was going to be, what I was going to wear, how I was going to act at school. I knew I already knew how school was gonna be, and I was wrong. So then summer comes around. Guy takes over as the head coach. I know him. He knows my family. As a matter of fact, his brother took my aunt to the prom, and I think his family became my pastor for a long time too. Um, but I was excited because he was the head football coach. But I had got some bad news coming in for my registration. She said he was like, since he's coming from private to public, he cannot play football. My heart went to my stomach. So I really wanted to cry because I was like, man, I can't play football. What? I mean, I've been out here practicing every day and doing all. I can't play. He said he can still practice, but he just can't play in the game. Cool. I'll do it, bro. That's how much I love the sport. Went from starting fullback to not playing at all. But as I started going to Auburn, there was a school, it was a culture shock because I go from a school from 500 to 600 kids now to a school of 2,000 to 3,000 kids, maybe even more. And it was on the west side of the town I live in. But just because the school is on the rough side of town, a lot of they have they have a lot of the gifted kids. They have the better programs. They have all the gifted kids. A lot of kids score perfect on the ACT, SATs. Like Auburn, like that was that school, you know. And we had a lot of famous people come out of that school. A lot of well-known people, who made it. I mean, a lot of good. Even if they're not famous, we had a lot of good stand-up people come out of that school, man. And so it was a culture shock. So I started hanging around certain people, started smoking weed, and there was this one friend I had. He was older than me. I started hanging around him. He sold drugs, you know, and he sold a lot of them. So this one day, he was showing, you know, he had a bag full of weed, and you know, he was like, "It's wet. I can't, you know, you can't smoke it." And this white dude overheard him talking. He was like, "Man, I got you, bro. I can do it." He was like, "Come on, take it." So he took it. So the next day, we're in gym class, and he comes up to me and he says something like, "Hey, grab that for me if I'm not in here." I'm like, "All right, cool." So he walks out, and I hear he get locked up. I'm like, "Oh shoot, he locked up." I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy." So 2 days later, it was, I forgot, I can't remember how long it was, but I remember the dude called me after school. He was like, "Hey, I got that for you." Gave me a big old full bag, Ziploc bag full of weed. Yo. Okay. So it was, I'm trying to remember how it went down. I can't remember how it went down, but I do know it may have been at a game. It may have been a Friday. So it was a Friday night. We had a home game. And this dude I played football with, I knew he smoked weed. And mind you, I'm trying to be accepted. I'm trying to flaunt and show my stuff. So I pulled the bag of weed, like, "You smoke?" Like, "Yeah, I got that." And so his friend was like, "Man, we finna rob this dude, man. We finna whoop this dude. You know what I'm saying, man? We finna jump this." So I get scared. I'm like, "Yo, what you talking about?" He's like, "Man, no." He's like, "We just play." He was like, I got 15. So he was like, "Give me 15. So I just gave him 2 big handfuls of weed. Gave it to him. Boom. That was it. They walk off. The week goes by. Another Friday comes up. We have an away game in Freeport. Now, this Saturday, I'm taking one of my good friends to her homecoming at my old high school. Okay? And, you know, because me and her became really good friends. And so I took her to homecoming. And how did it happen? So that Friday, it was game day. I don't know what made him do this, but he went home and he bagged up all the weed in the nickel bags. Now, this is how long ago this was. It was nickel bags. And we had first period together, and he's in class with the hands, and we like, "Hey, bro, buy this back for me for the fee." And like in the class in front of everybody. And back then, we had a hotline to where you could call and get money if you knew somebody was doing some suspicious stuff in the school. And there's a lot of kids who made a lot of money doing that stuff, man. So later that day, it's like sixth period. I'm in math class, and the classroom, the window faced the front of the school. And anytime, you know, a parent or a police had to pick up someone, they pulled to the front and you could see everything that was going on. So something's just, I look over and I did a double look and I see the dude in handcuffs who I sold the weed to. So I'm like, maybe he got into a fight, because that's what he did. He was a fighter. Like, dude fought, bro. Like, so I'm thinking, maybe he got into a fight, you know. So about 20, 30 minutes later, come right here. Because some told me to get my book back, because my cousin's in the classroom. Someone was like, get that book back to cuz. I was like, cuz, take my book back. He was like, all right. So I hear the knock. It's the assistant principal who knew my grandmother. I'm like, okay. He was like, no, go get your stuff. I'm thinking I'm going home. Cool. I'm thinking, you know, something happened. I got to go home. You know, I walk out, look to my right. There's an officer there. Look to the left, another officer there. I'm like, yo. And he was like, we hear that you got some stuff on you. What stuff you talking about? Like, what you talking about? He was like, this your locker right here? I'm like, yeah, you can search it. He was like, open it up. Cool. Cause don't nobody use that locker, bro. Couldn't find nothing. So we go down to the office. Search me, took my shoes off, searched my pockets. I had a pack of Newport 100s. Automatic suspension for that. Could have got arrested, and I could have got expelled. But since he knew my grandmother, they kind of slapped me on the wrist. So he calls my grandma. He tells her everything. And so I hear, uh-oh. And so my heart went to my stomach. I'm like, oh, shoot, did I leave something in there? It was seeds and stems. He was like, oh, we can't do nothing about this. And so he was like, so Zach, who'd you get it from? I was like, man, no, I got it from my cousin. I was like, man, you know, yes, one of my older cousins, you know, I got it, you know. I played it off. Like, I didn't say nothing to nobody, you know. So they sent me home. Couldn't go to the game. That Monday come, so I had the homecoming, had a great time, my friend. Shout out to Shannon if you see this. I ain't seen you in years. But Monday goes around, and my punishment was in-school suspension. So I go in there, and everything was cool. You know, I had met a little booth thing in class and all this, and I'm excited. No, things cool. I come out of class, and this girl who I've known since I was like 6, she sees me, and her mind, she's like, had this look on her face like she was scared for me. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she kept turning her head looking back at me. And she was trying to tell me something, but I didn't pay attention to it. So, Tuesday comes around, go to school. I see our quarterback. Now, mind you, shout out to B, man. He was, you ever met somebody who was at every fight, instigated every fight, always was in the mix of it, but you ain't never seen him throw a punch a day in his life? That was him, bro. So I walk up to him, get a handshake. He was like, they on your neck. Who? He said, bro, they on your neck. I'm like, who? He's like, the Dub. I'm like, for what? He said, because you snitched on Monte. Now, if you don't know who the Dub, if you're from where I'm from, if you know, you know. And this is the time when they really started to, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, for real. And I couldn't even turn my head. But there's a dude who was sitting next to me, because so he took my best friend to home, because she went to that same high school still. He took her, because me and her were tight, but he took her to homecoming. I took my friend to homecoming. So we're sitting there talking. They surround me. He gets in front of me because he already knew what was happening. I didn't know, because when I was telling him the story on Saturday, he kind of looked at me and was like, oh, that's what happened? I'm like, what? Because I heard it, but I missed it. So he jumps. He's like, no, that ain't what happened. Y'all, it was like literally 10 to 12 dudes surrounding me, bro. And I am scared. This one dude who everybody know, I'm praying for dude, man. He talking crazy. And little dude, everybody know what I'm talking about. Little the black dude, little dark skin, just talking. Then the big boy, my homie big boy, which is his first cousin. You snitch on my cousin? Nah, bro, I promise. He ain't say nothing. So then this dude, he take up his book bag and start rushing me. Now they all holding him back. I'm like, yo, what is going on? So I'm looking at him like, yo, what's going on? Come to find out, this fool was really my blood cousin this whole time. 2 of them were really my blood cousin. They was about to jump me, G. So then my homie Calvin jumped in it. Then by this time, my cousins come over, and then more people who knew me and my they started coming over. So now it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. They ready to fight. I'm looking like, what is going on, bro? So the bell rings. Call my grandma. I said, yo, you gotta come up here. I was like, I don't know what's going on. They trying to jump me. Something just happened. So I go into the office, and the dude who was with him Friday night, who was talking about let's rob and all this and that, he seen me. And he was like, no, I'm finna steal on dude. Now this dude, everybody know this dude. He was a man, cause like this dude, he one of them dudes, man. I ain't gonna, now he is. Back then, nah, but now he is. But I'm gonna put it like this, man. I could have got really hurt at that school. But the crazy thing about this whole situation, I'm the one who did not snitch. He's the one who snitched on me the whole time, lied, trying to be cool, trying to be a victim, and told a whole bold-faced lie on me. I almost get whooped, killed, whatever, over his ignorance. And then I had to leave the school. I went back to Lutheran. By this time, everybody at Lutheran knew about it. They talking about me, making me feel bad. So then I get to fighting again, get expelled because I got beat. Because I was so mad, I swung on this kid. He ducked, picked me up, and slammed me. So I lost that fight. And then I get expelled that same day. All right, bro. So I went through all kind of hell. And then I had to go to this school, which I talked to the previous video, for kids with mental illness and behavioral challenges and all this stuff. And I just didn't know. I was just, life, it sucked for me as a teenager. Life really sucked for me. I'm on medications, and I'm seeing psychiatrists, and people telling me this, telling me that, and people not listening. They're telling me, but they don't want to sit down and listen to me. And it was really frustrating for me, guys. Very frustrating. But let me tell you guys something. Even though I left and I feel like I ran, I finished the job. Yeah. I got scared. I left that school, but guess what? I came back to that school. I walked those hallways my senior year. I looked every dude in the eye that tried to hurt me that year. I went back and played on that same football team. Everybody bullied me young. I went back. I graduated early. I overcame so many obstacles. And the whole time people want to keep talking about me, talking about that situation. But Zach Smith went back and he did what he was supposed to do. Everybody else graduates in June. I graduated in January. God has always kept me since day one. And no weapon formed against me will ever be able to prosper. Did the weapon form? Yes, it did. Big time. But did it prosper? Not one bit. Because I'm still here. And I'm here to even talk about it. I even laugh at the situation now sometimes. I said, boy, you something else. But I'm telling to somebody out here, stop trying to be accepted. Stop trying to put yourself in an environment that does not respect you. Sometimes it's okay to be yourself and to not be around anyone. We all want friends. We all want to be a part of cliques. We all want to be something. But sometimes trying to be accepted can get you in the world a whole lot of trouble. A whole lot of trouble. That's why that cemetery and those jail cells are filled because people are trying to be accepted. So guys, if you go through an embarrassing situation, if you go through something fearful, just know God's going to give you the strength to get through it and go through it all over again, but even 10 times harder, because he did it for me, he'll do the same thing for you. Because you were chosen and you were called to shake this world and make history. So you keep going, keep fighting, because God has your back.